Hello and welcome back to another video. This video, I wanted to talk about this concept of all is mind. Let us try to understand what we mean by the physical world that we see around us. Let us try to understand our interactions with this physical world. Let us try to not just look at it as something that is dead in nature. The trees that we see, the doors that we interact with, the houses that we live in, they are not really dead. They may be dead in the sense that they cannot move, they cannot talk to you, they cannot evolve into something, they cannot grow. But they're not dead. They don't have these attributes. They don't have the attribute of talking. They don't have the attribute of falling in love. They don't have the attribute of growing. But they're not dead. Inherently, every person is connected with each other. The things that you put in your mind will eventually grow into something. The belief systems that we hold are true, are personally true to all of us. And these belief systems will give us the experience that we call life. Our life is based on these belief systems. These belief systems are like seeds that have been sown in the ground of our consciousness. And they grow into trees, they give fruits. An apple seed will give an apple fruit. A mango seed will give a mango fruit. But in order to understand the workings of this universe, it is important to first understand yourself as this ground consciousness. It is important to see yourself as consciousness first, and everything else in the part of this experience as manifestation of the seeds that were sown in your childhood. The seeds are sown when you act upon these belief systems. A materialist will look at the world and experiences the world as a materialist because he believes in the world as purely material. A person who believes in a certain ideology, in a certain philosophy, will live and embody this philosophy. He looks at the world through that perception of his philosophy, through the perception of his ideology. But a wise person understands that he is the ground consciousness, and that every belief system that he or she holds is transient. It is subject to change. All knowledge is refutable, debatable, and eventually will pass on as delusion. The knowledge that people held 1,000 years ago is now believed to be delusional. And thus, the knowledge that we hold now will be delusional to the people who are born after 1,000 years. Hence, every knowledge is refutable, debatable, and the truth can only be found in the level of your consciousness, in the soul. When you live as a soul, you start to see the unchanging in every change. You will start to see the formless in every form. You will start to see and perceive the formless in every form. The constant movement doesn't baffle you. You you are more open, and you are one with nature. You empathize with people, and compassion arises in you naturally because the unchanging, the formless soul is in everybody. The form that we see in the mirror, the form that we see in a statue, the form that we see is born out of this source, is born out of this ground consciousness. When we start to perceive everything as the mind, we start to see exactly how our mind works. The world works the same way. If we want, if we want good for ourselves, and we know that we want to believe in good things, we ingest good things, we digest good things, and hence when we understand that all is mind, that the world is also mind, we give good things to others because we know that inherently one day the good will come back. The seeds that are laid in our minds are sown also in others' minds, are sown in this universe. Now, all is mind is one of the principles in the Kybalion, which is a writing passed on by Hermes Trismegistus, and it was said that these principles were also studied by Jesus Christ and by a lot of wise people. And let me also restate some things here. Let me explain to you what acquisition of knowledge actually is. What happens when you acquire a piece of knowledge, and what happens when you actually experience this piece of knowledge. How is it that people from different sides of the world come to same conclusions, even if they are not acquiring the same knowledge? It is because they have understood something about knowledge itself. Acquiring knowledge through verbal forms or through practical forms is not the only source of acquiring knowledge. Knowledge can be acquired through something else. There is also always an esoteric tradition in every religion, in every spiritual form. There is a knowledge that is hidden in all these outward forms of knowledge, in religion, in spirituality. There is a kind of transcendent knowledge, a knowledge that is not merely acquired, a knowledge that is independent of books or education. And this knowledge is to be gained not through exoteric traditions, not through doing something that you have been told to do. It is gained by mere observation. Wisdom is gained through experience. And this knowledge that I am talking about here, whether it be the 7 principles of Hermeticism, or whether it be the Tantra Sutras, or whether it be the poetry of Rumi, all this knowledge can be gained through experience. By looking into our experiences, by being aware enough and conscious enough to actually see what is going on here, this life, in this moment, to delve into yourselves, to find wisdom in yourself, to look at the mind, to try to understand the mind, to try to understand the thought patterns that we hold, the belief systems that we hold, the seeds that have been sown into us. When we understand ourselves, we understand the truth, because truth is not far away in some other land to be searched hard, to be sacrificed. There is no need for any sacrifice. There is no need for asceticism, because asceticism is another form of delusion. You are giving up something. You are giving up something that you held as a value to hold on to something that you think is more valuable. Now, negation is much more valuable to you than acquisition. Hence, understanding the mind is getting closer to truth. Understanding and delving into the inner wisdom is getting closer to truth. Understanding the soul and trying to be in the soul is getting closer to truth. The ultimate knowledge, the gnosis, the revelation of God happens when it happens, the thirst for knowledge quenches. You no longer seek anything. You stabilize yourself in your soul. And the only thing that you can say to people is to just be. Is to just be and see this world as it is. Is to just be in this soul. And to see this mind. To see the world as it arises in front of you. At the end of the day, and at the end of the life, this moment, the moments where you were in the self, the moments where you were in consciousness, the moments where you strove to be aware, these are the moments that will make your death easier, that will make you leave this body and leave this world easily and pass on freely to the next world, into the hereafter. So remember that the more you stay in consciousness, the more you are aware of yourself, the more free you are. So thank you for watching this video.